Welcome to 3D Learning. This is a flipped learning class, and the project is about sports. Now, sports is a very big topic, and this is video 1 of 10, but we want to focus on a Taekwondo story. And the story is about a pregnant Nigerian competitor. She was very pregnant, 8 months, and should pregnant women, pregnant females, should they participate in sports like Taekwondo, even if it's non-contact? We want to add the disclaimer because the original story was written by somebody and published by somebody, and they need credit for that. So all rights go to the original story, go to the author. The following is a rewrite of an article. There is no guarantee the article is maintained on the URL given. So the story, whether it stays at that URL or not, or changes, I have no control. But that's where I got the original story, and that's what I rewrote. And the topic is the same. This section, Discovery, discovers what is known and what information needs to be expanded. There are 3 Ds: discovery, discussion, and debate. And discovery is just about discovering what you know, discovering new ideas, expanding your information. It's all about discovery. Building a larger umbrella to cover the topic allows the door to critical thinking to open and the sides of the umbrella to enlarge. So here we have an umbrella, and when it's closed, well, it's really nice on a sunny day, but you can't see anything inside. Everything is hidden, so we want to add information, and as we open this umbrella, we're going to see, the spines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe there are 8 spines, and different categories and how they connect, because, here's a spine, and here's another spine, and they're connected by this fabric on an umbrella, but really, when it's closed, you don't see that. You don't see all the fabric. You just see it all crunched together. You know it's there, but you don't know anything about it. So that's what we want to do. Developing an argument, requires a focus of information to base the initial statement on, yet broad enough to push the idea into current thought and culture. So this story is not maybe a new story, but traditionally, pregnant women kind of stayed away from the, like Olympic sports where you have to train really hard. And today, it's becoming kind of a new idea. There are many people that are training and participating in the Olympics that are pregnant. So we want to take this information and bring it into today's culture, today's world, today's thinking. And so that's what we want to do with our story. The discovery phase requires students to present what they know. So you're going to answer questions and present in class what you know. So be ready for that. Do things at home. You're going to be asked to write and do things at home, and you're going to bring them to class because your team is going to be challenged almost every day that you come to class. We love the idea of challenge and disagreement. Don't be agreeable in this class. Challenge, be disagreeable. It's kind of hard because being agreeable is much nicer and happier, but to prepare for debate, we want to get our mind to challenging ideas. And with a guide or a teacher, a mentor, the discovery is expanded to include a broader range of ideas. That's why when you start opening up like this, that fabric goes like this, and then you can have a broader range of ideas. So the initial discussion will be used later as building blocks for exploration and reference. Understanding what the topic is and expanding your ideas later will become the building blocks for your argument. and for the statement and what you're going to do. Building blocks come from ideas generated from discovery. So you have random ideas, and these random ideas become building blocks. You're going to put them together as blocks. You know, like a big box of Lego, and you're going to build this wall. You're going to connect them together. Teams use blocks of information for the defense of the argument together. A debate is a team effort, but every person will have a point to defend and argue. So you need to have that information together as a team, and each one will put it together. Students require attentiveness, means you have to pay attention. Take notes. Always take notes. If you don't have a notebook, do it on your phone. If you don't like your phone because it's too small, then have a small notebook. If you have a computer, put all your ideas on a notebook, or even better, if you're using computers, everybody has computers, then make a drive file like Google Drive, OneDrive, N-Drive, a cloud file that everybody can access, and you put that folder, and inside you put all the files with your ideas. You can access it with your phone, you can access it with your computer, and if you need, you can print it and bring it to class and write in your notebook. So those are just some ideas, but always take notes. You don't have to write long, say that again. No. Just listen and take keyword notes. Not complete word notes, not sentences, long sentences, a paragraph. You just want key words, key ideas. John said this, and a key idea, maybe 3 to 4 words. That's it, even one. Take notes. Who said it? What they said. Okay? Keep notes. Number 1. Notes are constantly reviewed and information changes. So one person might say this today, but they might change what they say tomorrow. And if you have no notes, you can't say, oh, you said this yesterday. Why are you saying this today? Because maybe they forgot. And we all do that. So taking notes allows you to challenge and disagree better. The team, consisting of several people, builds blocks of information to be tied to all other information. Those blocks, a little bit of information tied to another information, they all tie together, and when you're presenting, you are going to make all your arguments fit together. All your support fits together. Everything fits together with these blocks of information. So you want to begin taking notes, which become blocks of information, and you can go back and check and change. And it's imperative. Imperative means very important to note there is never too much information. Never too much information. The challenge, however, is to keep this large amount of information organized for quick review and rebuttal. Rebuttal is to challenge the other team, to oppose the other team, to take the opposite side. That's rebuttal. Reading titles, and that's where we start, for information, speeds, research, allowing specific information to be found quickly and stored in a file folder. We talked about the file folder on your computer. It's very nice and easy. If you have titles give you basic information, and you want those things to be there so you can always go back and check. If you download a lot of PDF files like I do, okay, PDF files are really nice, but the title tells you whether it has information for your argument. So titles are very important. And if you read the title, when you download, you don't want to read everything right away. But you download folders, files, look at the title and say, this is important for my argument. This is what I want. Use keywords. You want to learn to search quickly, and you want to see if these articles, web blogs, websites, whether they have the information you want. Discovery is where the mass of ideas is flushed out. Flushed out means, the opposite is hiding, hidden. So what is hiding in the story, you want to bring out so everybody can see. That's flushed out and discussed without barriers. There's no right or wrong. There is just this position or that position. There's support or not support. So brainstorming has no barriers. It can be right. Sometimes what looks right today, you're going to change later. Sometimes you're going to reject, but you're going to take a note. Maybe the idea is rejected, but then accepted later. Maybe the way it's written, with the way you wrote it, needs to be changed to fit everything else. So, brainstorming. Take a lot of notes, write a lot of things. It's very important. That's flushing out. And that is where the foundation is made for your statement and support. In this booklet, you will find the initial story provides the base point. In other words, arguments, the statement may come first. Arguments are based on questions. Debate is based on statements. And sometimes you ask questions first because you want to have discussion before the debate. And so, in other arguments, statement may come first. And oftentimes, if you speak that way, you don't always ask questions. You just make a statement as if it's true. And maybe people will reject it. Maybe they will tell you it's a bad idea. But the statement may come first. This would assume an initial level of critical thinking. That means that that's the beginning level, you have critical thinking. You assume that you can critical think. But many students and many people don't. They just read, and they don't read for anything. They're just reading. And then you ask them information, and they don't know anything because they didn't read for any purpose. Read for a purpose. And the purpose here is to find the arguments. Read to find the argument. Don't read for vocabulary. Read for the argument. Write down the argument in every article that you look at. Whether it's a good argument, a bad argument, make categories so that you put the arguments into which kind of argument is it for. Because many topics are too big. And maybe the argument they're making is not about what you are thinking about arguing. So it's a good argument, but it doesn't fit your purpose. Read for purpose. That is critical thinking. Therefore, the story is a whetstone. Whetstone is sharpening stone. You want to sharpen your knife so that you can cut that tomato easily. You don't want to destroy the tomato. You want to slice the tomato so you can eat it nicely. A whetstone. So as you're developing, you're sharpening your skills. You're sharpening your skills in different areas. And skills developed and used in this discovery phase are note-taking, because that's so important. Question asking better questions. Disagreeing and asking better questions. Critical thinking, which is reading for purpose, speaking for purpose, listening for purpose. Don't just listen. Listen for a purpose. Reading and speaking. So we want to develop those, not only in the discovery phase, but all the way through. And hopefully at the end, you will have increased motivation and increased confidence to read better, speak better, ask better questions, and note-taking, which is really important for later in your schooling, and if you're in a company, always take notes. Well, that's video 1. Come with me to video 2, and let's start this road together. There are 10, and like I said, the end goal is a debate. So every video will be focused on preparing for that debate, one step at a time. Come with me to video 2.